Well, hello everybody. You wanted cookies and I'm not sure how I'm going to do them yet, but I wanted to show you before I start my cookie making. This is the start. I put my cookbooks over there. You'll see my sheet pans are waiting by the oven. There's spatulas right there. All my cooling racks are on I've cleaned off my whole island to make this the baking section. Here is my eggs, peanut butter, baking powder, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, vanilla. You will never have enough measuring cups. I've got powdered sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, flour, my Bible of a cookbook right here, and I'm hoping to do cookies over here. So, I don't know how. First, let me show you this. Christmas calories don't count. I couldn't think of a more fitting apron. I will wear this apron for every cookie that I make. I'm starting out in this KitchenAid making my chocolate jumbos. This recipe came from a girl named Wendy that I worked with. They're a drop style, not the rolled out that you cut the hole. They come out absolutely perfect. The problem is they cook at 325 for like 15 minutes, and I make the frosting and frost them once they're cool. So the frosting is going to be in a separate video. This is the chocolate jumbo cookie recipe. I already feel like I don't have this locked in place because I don't. So I have the oven already preheated, and obviously I've never worked my KitchenAid before today, I guess. Okay, that's locked. So I'm going to read the recipe, and I don't want to screw it up. I do not want to screw up my cookies because I'm doing a video, and I don't want to drop everything on the floor. So it's a cup of Crisco and a cup of sugar. So we'll start with that. Here's my handy dandy thing I've showed you a few times. It is the best for Crisco. It is also the best for peanut butter. Cup of sugar. Now, glasses have to go back off. So this is where you won't see me when I bend over here to get things. Cup of sugar. Then, half a cup of molasses, which I've already poured out. That is in here. Now this is when I would have liked to have used the yellow Pampered Chef thing for the molasses, because now this has to get washed. That's why I said you'll never have enough measuring cups, and luckily for you, your girl is loaded with kitchen products. So normally when I do cookies, when one is cooking, I already start the next batter. So I don't know how these videos are going to come out, because that's how I'm going to do my cookies. When I say this cookbook behind me is my Bible, I am not joking you. It has all of my family and favorite. They're not only my family, because like I said, this came from Wendy from work. Do you guys have a repertoire of recipes? Teaspoon of vanilla and an egg while I talk. A bunch of recipes that people have given you over the years that you put in your own cookbook, that they're that good. So luckily, I'm going to use this for my garbage bowl right now. Luckily, I was working at social services where I worked with probably 150 women. And also, luckily, we did a lot of snack days. Teaspoon of vanilla. So, snack days, everybody would bring things in. So when there was something we loved, we shared the recipe. A lot of my breakfast casseroles, breakfast eggs were Dory's. I got the next ginger snap recipe was a girl named Candace's. There's just so many great recipes that I've gotten from people I work with. And now the last liquid item, I'm going to put this on in a minute, is a cup of coffee. That goes in my molasses, sugar, eggs, coffee, Crisco. Start whipping. And I told you before, I do not separate dry. I wait for that to mix, and then I'm going to add 3 1/4 cups of flour. It's hard because I need these to read and I don't need these for you. 3 1/4 cups of flour, 1 1/2 cup of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 3/4 of a cup of baking cocoa. Guess what I didn't get out? I didn't get out my cloves, but luckily right here is my baking stuff, and my cocoa is right here. So I've got my cloves and my cocoa. So I'm going to just follow the recipe. It comes out perfect. And then what I do, these are the next things. You need these tools, guys. These are 2 different cookie scoops. I usually use the bigger one, but I don't know. I think I'm still going to use the bigger one. We like the bigger one for this. But you should have good cookie scoops. I've got a bunch. So I'm going to mix that up a little more. Then I'm going to add my dry. Following? I know you can't see anything. There's nothing to see when I do cookies. So I don't know whether to pause you when I'm doing this. I mean, this isn't exciting. So now I'm going to add my 3 1/4 cups of, oh, I want to read this right. 3 1/4 cups of flour. Okay, so let's get this to a spot. Can you see me? Okay. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Yes, I'm using my finger to level. That was 3. Here's my 1/4 cup. And then I put my flour right back over there where it goes. So having everything here is like being in a bakery. Next, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda. So next is that. I've got 1. I'm going to level with my finger, and then 1/2. So if you ever make jumbos, do you guys make jumbos? Cookies are not going to be fun to watch. I can already feel it because you can't see the finished product until the end when I have a Christmas buffet. 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. Now you just watched me pull them out. Okay. I'll leave those out. I use these a lot. I make a Christmas Eve cake that I call gingerbread cake with cream cheese frosting. It was good. Then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Do you believe it? I'm measuring. I don't usually measure much, but I'm measuring. So when I bake, I measure. A teaspoon of cinnamon. The coffee gives it a lot of flavor, let me tell you. Now, it was 3/4 cup of cocoa. So I'm going to put all my other stuff back over here so I don't get mixed up. 3/4 cup. We're going to do it in these cups. I have another cup, sets of cups. So we need 1/2. This is good cocoa too. It's an organic cocoa. These come out, Wendy, you hit the nail on the head with this recipe. Here's my 1/4 cup. And it's a really rich, moist jumbo. And then it makes a really bad for you Crisco frosting. So there's a cup of Crisco in the cookie. You know my trick, and I'm going to do it just in case that cocoa flies. You ready? If the cocoa flies, I don't want it on my sweater or my pretty little apron. So this is a foolproof, tried and true, done. When I get done with this, everything gets washed because the cocoa powder, you have to have, I'm going to put that over here too. You have to have all of that cleaned. My next recipe that I'm going to make is called the sour cream cookie, but it's my rollout cookie that I decorate. It's a perfect recipe, but again, you're going to see me make a dough. You're not going to see anything else until I make the cookie. So that one you have to make the cookie dough, and then you have to put it in saran wrap and chill it. So that's why I want to make that one next. I usually make that one first because a brown mixer is harder to clean. Like I don't know, I think weird. I think white cookie, then peanut butter cookie, then chocolate. Today I started ass backwards, excuse my language. I started with jumbos. So there, I'm going to scrape it down. It is delicious, I can already tell. This is such a great recipe. My granddaughter said, Gaga, if you make no cookies, because I threatened to make no cookies because of my diet. I said, why is it, how is it good? Today's my birthday, and I'm making cookies that I can't eat. I'm making cookies for other people. So I thought to myself, how the heck is it good for me to make the cookies? I have to go spend all the money on the products, plus make a bunch of stuff I don't eat. And then I thought, she's 13. Her little brother and her little cousin haven't gotten all the years that she had. So guess what? She said, Gaga, if you only make one cookie, make those chocolate jumbos. My son says, Gaga, if you only make one thing, make peanut butter balls. Peanut butter blossoms with the kiss in the middle. Again, another recipe I got from when I was working, but not at social services, and I'll tell you that when I make that recipe. This smells delicious, and the dough is done. So now what I'm going to do with this dough, you can actually scoop it. You could chill it if you want. My sister and I used to make all our cookie doughs all in one day and put them in the fridge. The next day was baking day, and we did it together. That was fun. She passed away 5 years ago from breast cancer, and nothing's right, I'm telling you. So then my daughter and I did the cookies with the grandchildren. One year we did it with my nieces. Maddie Ann, she was in charge of peeling the Hershey Kisses. And she peeled them, one for her mouth, one for a cookie. One for her mouth, one for a cookie. But most of the times, Courtney and I have done them together. But she's working, she's a teacher, and I do half now, she does some, and then we put them all together to give out platters. So it's just easier. Nobody could do them all. I mean, I could do them all in my sleep, as you know. So I'm going to try to bring this batter over to show you, and I'm going to shut you down until the cookies are done later. You'll see a finished product. So it'll be a separate video for the frosting. That's all I could do. I'll be back.